Hey guys, Dom here and welcome to Friday Knife Drop, or in this case Saturday Knife Drop, because I've always got shit to do. I'm a very fucking busy person, especially recently with the company moving forward. But here we have all of the stock right here on my website, or just about. The reason this is all that is because I've got the Adelaide Knife Show next weekend, so I want to get this all documented on YouTube before I go to the knife show and start selling the shit off. I've never done the Adelaide Knife Show, or at least I've never exhibited at it, so I'm kind of curious to see how it goes, and sounds like it's a bit of a piss up, so I'm actually quite excited for it. And not just that, just the drive as well. I mean, the drive from Melbourne to Adelaide, it's like 8 hours I want to say, but it's like the only time I'll have for months to just like sit and think and not be stressed out by a million other things going on. Yeah, so essentially Adelaide Knife Show next weekend, and this is some of the stuff we're going to be bringing. So we'll start first off with the Primus knives. And I'll be doing another video maybe tomorrow or next week about the Gen 2 Primus and the whole reason these things came to be, the evolutions I've done to it, and the whole design philosophy behind the Gen 2 Primus, because the new way I'm designing my folders, it's not just going to be the Primus, it's going to be the next version and the next version. I've got 2 or 3 more designs that I'd like to release as far as like locking knives go in 2020, so that's going to be exciting. So we'll start off with 001. So this one here is in grey G10 on top. That's with the concealed carry or contoured or whatever you want to call it. Just whatever company is pretty much selling it, it's got a different name. It's essentially one even contour the whole way through, instead of having a bunch of little contours all around the edges like you traditionally see. Just gives it a cleaner look in my opinion. But the main thing about this blade that really jumps out at you is the blade finish. So this is actually a splatter pattern all up and down the blade. So that's actually a resistance etch. So I actually use nail polish pretty much and splatter it on there and then give it a solid etch. A bit more to it than that. It's actually a bit of a multi-layered finish. So I'm doing different layers on top of each other to get that right contrast. Because there's different ways of doing it. You can kind of see when some guys do it and they don't give a shit and it kind of just looks crappy. This is a bit more sort of Art Deco-y, fancy kind of a thing. Besides that, we've got a titanium frame lock. And these things have really nice action on them. Every single one of these things feels the same and it's just drop shut smooth. I mean, you can still fire these things from the with your fingernail. At least some people can. It's kind of like a dexterity thing. If you've got like that, the strength in your finger to do it, you can kind of flip it like that. But the main reason that I show that to people is that it kind of proves how quick and how great the action is on these knives, because there's a lot of flipper knives, like dedicated flipper knives, that don't have action this good as the thumb opening Gen 2 Primus. Next up we have number 2. So same kind of a deal, same overall blade shape, except in this time we've got black. This one round we have a black blade, and we've also got this, I don't know what to call it, but like a pointed pivot. These have all got custom pivots in some shape or form. Essentially this one's just sort of been taken to a point. It kind of looks like a studded leather jacket or something. Kind of cool, especially with that ring of copper around it. This one here has also got a very deep hollow grind, as you can see. Something I've done on this one that I haven't done before is the faceted spine, but satin. So it's kind of like doing a satin swedge on a 2-tone blade, but it's just on the spine, and it gives it that different little element. It has these different triangles and sort of stuff, and different angles that make it look interesting. And then on the liners and on the pocket clip, we have titanium, which has been given the DB graffiti finish all up and down it. And that's one of the finishes that I've been seeing, like a lot of people have been commenting on it and getting it on their knives. I think 80% of the liner lock orders I have now, I've got that DB finish on the clip. So it's obviously very popular, and I'm going to be doing it more and more in the future. And then last but not least, we have a 003 for the Gen 2 Primus. This one's basically just rocked out. Kind of was grinding around the blade, didn't do so great on grinding it. Basically the plunge lines were a bit crooked, and the solution to that for me, because I'm a hack, is essentially just rock pattern it and makes it look cool, and it hides your mistakes, okay? I'm only human, shit happens. So yeah, when it did the rock pattern finish on the blade, and then I kind of continued that theme onto the handle. So you've got G10 that have been rock patterned, but they've also been given these facets here on the side of the texture, just kind of break up the rock pattern a little bit. It makes it look a little bit more interesting. And gives you that sort of a softer area up top when you're trying to register and do sort of delicate cutting. Sandblasted liners, sandblasted clip. I've also done the rock texture on the clip and on the pivot, just sort of that extra little touch, extra little feature. And this one's also got copper pivot accents as well All three of these are running on standoff construction, which is a big part of the Gen 2 Primus series and the new way I'm basically constructing my knives. But essentially, that's the first three. I've got more coming. I'm doing another 3 this week and next week, which are going to be carbon fiber. So Silver Lightning Strike carbon fiber, those are all sold. Those are all pre-orders for people who've waited very patiently for them. So they're going to get done next week. And I'm hoping to do 2 more besides that because those 3 are almost done. So I'd love to bring 5 folding knives to the Adelaide Knife Show next Friday. Next up we have the Infernums. So this is Infernum number 15. And you can see on this Infernum, this is actually the first time I did the splatter pattern etch. This is sort of a test of it and to see how it worked. This one here is a lot more mild than the first one on the liner lock. There's a lot less basically nail polish being used. Different effect, looks different. It is very, it's just different ways to do it, you know? This one here is a little bit more tanto-y than the other Infernums I've done in the past. I just kind of took the edge back, or took some of the belly out of the tip a little bit, just to have a bit of a different effect. I get bored sometimes, I want to play around and do different things. The handles on this one are sandblasted micarta with different contrasting micarta pins, which are also sandblasted. So this one's a lot grippier than the rest of them. Last but not least, we have Infernum number 13, because I can't go in order. This one here is pretty much the standard Infernum layout. You got the acid stonewash blade, you got the satin finished bevels, you got the logo, and you got the sort of the polished handles with the and the polished handles as well. But the difference between this one and the other ones is this one's using this one's using Thunderstorm Kevlar carbon fiber or micarta. I'm not really sure what to classify it as. But essentially it's this Kevlar material, but it's got copper running the whole way through it. So what I've heard about this material is that it was actually originally developed for planes and all that sort of stuff. When they get hit by lightning, the copper is supposed to, divert the electricity. That may entirely be bullshit, that someone's just fed me to sell their material. But I don't know, that's cool. It's a cool story if it's true. Last but not least, we also have surgeons. So I've got 5 of the Gen 2 surgeons here. These are all D2 steel like the rest of them. This is pretty much near the end of the first batch of the Gen 2s. We're doing a second batch of Gen 2s, of course. I'm speaking with the company about machining them because the first batch I didn't do enough numbers essentially. It worked out to be too expensive per unit. So to kind of keep the price down, I'm going to be doing another batch with another company, but a much larger batch. So instead of 70 pieces, it's going to be 140 pieces. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, so that's kind of a run through of the new stuff. Essentially for the knife show, we're going to be bringing 5 Infernums with the V2 ones. We're going to be bringing one of the V1 Infernums. I may have shown this last week, I don't know. If I did, I'm sorry, but it's essentially a Elite Series, not Elite Series, it's a burnt bronze Infernum with a Cerakote finish. I'll be bringing 2 more of these as well. They're also going to be in black Infernums or with a rock pattern. I'm hoping to get those done mid next week. We'll see. I'm bringing 3 folders, hopefully 5. We're bringing the, Moribus 007 with the DB logo and the beautiful carbon fiber. Bringing 9 Shokunins. I'm probably doing a pretty good deal on the Shokunins. Some surgeons and bottle openers as well. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you're in Adelaide next weekend, it is at the Arkabar Hotel. Saturday, Sunday, I'll be there. I've got a table there. If you want to come, talk, drink some beer. I hear there's a bar there, so that's me in. It'll be a good time. So yeah, if you're in Adelaide, come down, say hello, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.